Hello everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Playing as Vampire Air Elementalist of Kiku Bakudka for Week 6 of the Crawl Sudden Death Challenge. And we just finished Vaults 4, and as I mentioned, I am not keen on going down to Vaults 5 with this guy anytime soon. So we're just going to head to Crypt. That is the next step on the way to Tomb, and we're almost ready for Tomb, in fact. Something I realized is, like, I shouldn't really be training summonings. Haunt might be okay later, but like in Tomb, it's not going to be much help. There's just so many threats who can abjure your summons that it's not going to help much at all. I shouldn't be wasting experience on it, and there may never be. I don't know. Maybe once I'm done with Tartarus or something. But by the time you're done with Tartarus, like, it doesn't really matter what you put points into. If you can survive Tartarus, you can do okay in Zot. I mean, Zot is hard, but it's... I don't know Shock. That's true. I unlearned Shock. Do I have, like, any direct damage spells these days? Looks like no. Just Static Discharge. Alright, well, come closer, little Griffin. There he goes. Anyway, there's just too much stuff that can abjure summons. I should be working on... I mean, how close am I to getting Haunt anyway? Like, it's castable now. It's not great, but it's castable. And with Kiku, we can be protected from the miscasts there. So it's fine. If I decide I want to haunt something, I can. But more necromancy is probably the thing, and that'll progress towards haunt as well, of course. But where is Crypt anyway? It's in the bottom right of here, as I recall. Yeah, right there. Let's just go bat form and fly there then. Forget all these stupid slime creatures. And I mean, so necromancy is going to help because there's not so much because we'll get better zombies or anything. I still don't know what. I keep forgetting to look it up. As soon as I'm done recording, I'm like, oh my gosh, time to go lie down, take a break, whatever. But it'll increase the damage of Dispel Undead. It'll increase, although wow, not by a lot. We've got that spell power pretty high up there. How about Control Undead? Where is that? E, I mean? It's on E. Okay, so Control Undead we could still increase the spell power of. But that'll help in Tomb, where we're just gonna want to, as quickly as possible, do enough damage to destroy a greater mummy, basically, is how you measure success in Tomb. And Control Undead will help managing crowd control. Oh, can I not cast that? Okay. I mean, also in Tomb, but there's just so many undead threats. Oh, he's not dead. Look at that. Yeah, so this guy knows Haunt. He's like the only monster in the game that can cast Haunt. It's kind of cute. So you can get swarmed in Tomb pretty easily. But if we can dispel the greater mummies and control the lesser undeads, we should be all right. And so that's why I really want to invest in spell power, or spell casting for MP, and necromancy for better spellcaster. Spell power. Jeepers creepers. My tongue is tripping all over itself. I noticed I was looking over the video of Spider where I got into a bit of trouble. It would not be an understatement to say, and And I realized that I swore quite, not quite a bit, but I don't know. I think I've mentioned before, like, I mostly try not to swear on this channel, but, you know, I don't think it's a super big deal. I just think it doesn't make for a terribly exciting video. You know, more creative uses of words is more fun to listen to. So I don't know. I don't think that's the first time I've said the F word on this channel, but it could be like this. It's like the second, maybe. Could be as many as the third. I don't know. So I hope nobody cared. Or, you know, that you enjoyed noticing that I was really into the character. Like, I'm invested in this character. A web, huh? And I don't know. So I don't know. I'm not like apologizing. I kind of am. I don't know. I try to keep it clean, mostly clean. So the other thing I would like to train is stealth, but I think that can wait until we are like in Tomb. Because I would like some stealth for Tartarus, because you want to pick your way through with as little combat as you can in the Hells. But for Tomb, it's just, you know, there's no point being stealthy. Everything knows where you are. And we just want to be able to destroy it as fast as possible. I'm happy with how Dispel Undead is going. I mean, the limiter here is our magic points, really. We took a little bit of damage there for the first time. But mostly this stuff should just be no problem at all, I hope. And it won't be quite so easy in Tomb. Part of the problem is being able to isolate the greater mummies, and just, I don't know, I'm gonna have, you stair dance a lot in Tomb. Basically don't leave the stairs until everything on the floor is dead. Because it's all such a big threat. It can do, if you let it stack up, it can do a ton of damage to you at once. Do I have enough? I don't think I have enough MP. I don't know, I can cast 6 dispels? Yeah, that's not enough to kill all this. So I'm just going to go upstairs a bit, or anyway, get back off. And then I can dispel a couple of them. And go upstairs. Or just like, they forgot about me. I'm just so good at stealth. You know, here with 7 stealth skill. It's pretty good, I guess. It's not great, but I do have 5 pips. And I also have some thinking to do about the last week. I mentioned briefly that the challenge is up, you know, where Demon Spawn Summoner is the challenge. But the challenge bonuses require some strategizing, I think, because there are just, you know, for the last week, like I said, there are 20 points of bonus challenges, sorry, 20 total points for the week. Because there are 10 extra points worth of bonus challenges compared to most weeks. And so far I've been trying to get all the challenges every week, basically. But I think next week I'm just not going to be able to do that. There's just too much to do. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys the challenges. We are, for 1 bonus point is like get a rune before, I think, level 17, maybe before level 16, which is, you know, that's, I usually like to be around level 17 when I'm picking up the first rune, so it seems like that shouldn't be too bad, especially with the demon spawn level up pretty slowly, so that should be all right. I might have to adjust my play a little bit, but not by a lot, I suspect. The tier 2, pick up the orb before level 25. Level 27. So again, that's something that I do somewhat on the regular, not every game, but skipping all the stuff in Zot, which is what I often do, to just dive down there and grab the orb as fast as you can. You know, there's like a couple levels worth of experience in Zot, and if you skip it, you often end up being below level 27 anyway. 27 being the maximum level you can get to. I don't know if we've actually had a level 27 character on this channel yet. But most characters are level 27 when they get to the orb, because they've cleared all the way through Zot, and like maybe they've gone on to 15 runes or whatever. But you don't have to be. I think my record is... I've had a couple of level 23 characters. And, you know, 24 is... and 25 are somewhat common. Boy, this is efficient turn-wise, but the MP, I am spending a lot of MP on this stuff. So anyway, that wouldn't be too hard, but I think that is the challenge that I might pass on, just not get those 2 points, because of the tier 3 and tier 4 bonus challenges. Let's grab Fireball and Disintegration, sure. Which are tier 3 is get some rune while you have the orb. I forget which one. No, tier 3 is kill the Serpent of Hell after you pick up the Orb of Zot. So that there's sort of a... What on earth is he doing in here? I didn't think the Vaults guys ever came down into Crypt. There's sort of a traditional challenge that you can do, you know, that crawl players sometimes do, of... called orb running, where you do a zone or a branch or a rune or whatever while holding the orb, which of course makes it quite a bit harder, because there's all the extra monsters spawning that you know, the demons and so on that appear when you're carrying the orb, and having those attacking you while you are trying to do something else makes it harder. Like, so, ow. So orb running, Tomb is sort of the traditional place to orb run, for reasons I don't really know. If you're going to orb run something, like orb running Tomb is the thing. Who knows? I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave. I'm kind of low on MP here. So anyway, orb running through Hell to find the Serpent of Hell sounds tricky, but if it's worth, like, what is it, 4 points, that's probably worth it. And doing that while below level 27, that sounds pretty hard. I don't want to do that. And likewise, the tier 4 challenge, which is worth 6 points, is to enter Tomb for the first time while holding the orb and then get the golden rune. So you kind of have this, you know, the first 2 challenges are sort of about doing stuff at a low level, and then the last 2 challenges are about orb running stuff. And I've never tried to orb run anything. I've never felt any particular need for that extra level of challenge. But it doesn't seem like it should be too hard. Like, I don't know, most of the stuff that appears on the orb run you can just run away from. And, you know, an accomplished summoner, or any accomplished character, seems like you ought to be able to continue to Stair Dance Tomb while, you know, the occasional Orb Guardian and Panlord is appearing. I don't know, maybe it's harder than it sounds. But that's my plan, to try to get just 18 points, basically. But I don't know. Maybe the orb running all this stuff is harder than it sounds. Whoa, Jorgren. Hang on, Jorgren. Whoops. Normally, I would quaff a potion of flight here, because flight, being in the air, helps you. It reduces the damage from Shatter, which is his main damage-dealing attack, by quite a lot. But I dropped all my potions of flight because I'm a vampire and I can turn into a bat whenever I want. So that's exciting. I could nail him with a couple rod charges, see how that goes. But it could go badly quite quickly. So I want to make sure I have an escape option available that will work before I commit myself to spending a few turns like castling him. Okay, so I think the first thing I do is quaff haste. I am worried about Jorgren because he's probably going to be just a complete pushover, but if he chooses to cast Shatter a lot, he can do a lot of damage in a hurry. So I don't mind being over-prepared for this, not in the least. And I'm thinking, like, I'll use the Lamp of Fire here. Should help. Like, if he's on fire while he's chasing me and I'm nailing him with a Rod of Destruction, that should be pretty good. And now the Lightning Rod. Ugh, stupid Fire Elemental, man. It's fine. Yes, zap the Fire Elemental. Okay, got him. So we used up a haste, which is absolutely fine. And we got a Fire Elemental mad, whatever. Let's get out of here. Who cares? I just didn't want to risk things. Oh, right. So I was worried that the Fire Elemental would catch us. Because earlier when we fought Azrael, I tried to run away from him and I discovered that even in bat form, they were catching me. But then I realized I'm hasted now, and so a hasted bat, evidently, is fast enough to outrun, what's it called? A Fire Elemental. It seems. Still training reasonable stuff. That's good. Gonna need all the necromancy I can get down here, I think. Could make some ghoul simulacra, I guess. Oops. Wrong spell. Ghouls, man, they have more hit points than I realized. They are so tanky. But, you know, we can make simulacra, I guess. Not that it matters. It's just a waste of MP, really. Since I'm going to be killing everything by dispelling it. Yeah, Dispel Undead is so powerful against anything undead, and basically everything down here is, in fact, undead. Not all of it, but most of it is. So does this Spectral Mist, like, does it make me stronger? I know Spectral Flame, which is what Spectral Mist used to be, would make undead characters stronger. But it looks like it doesn't anymore. It used to do more damage to living creatures as well. Now it like does hardly any, if at all. Wow, those simulacra are doing damage. That's nice. Let's get going. So Crypt 1 is going a little bit slowly, but not it's not too bad. It's just we have to occasionally rest because we run out of ammo on Dispel Undead, basically. And it's perfectly capable. Like, we haven't had any difficult fights, really. Ooh. A little bit thirsty. Or not thirsty. Well, I was bloodless, so indeed quite thirsty, but low on hit points, which meant I actually cared about being thirsty. Sorry, that just sounded like a sound that made no sense for no reason, but it's because I was hitting the wrong button to cast the spell I wanted, and I was, what is the word I'm thinking of? I don't know what word I'm thinking of. Like befuddled almost, but not quite. This thing like immune? Yeah, it's immune to electricity. So we can just zap the Death Knight while he fights. Whoa, he blinks right on top of me. That is a dangerous place to be, sir. And let's wield the Rod of Destruction, I guess. I loved having Dispel Undead in Crypt. I rarely do have it. And even when I do, I guess, I typically melee a bunch of the stuff anyway. Because it's just, like, takes less time. So, I mean, in that sense, like, using Dispel Undead on everything is kind of a hassle. It's making stuff take longer. But it's also, like, every combat is just zero risk. Oh, something I do want to try is... Okay, so he easily resists Control Undead. So if we want to take over this kind of stuff, we're going to need more spell power, more necromancy. I am out of blood. Okay. So I'm just trying to decide whether to make request corpses here or downstairs. I think downstairs is better. Yeah. And we'll just ask for corpses and make a few snacks. There we go. And we got Fire Giant and Stone Giants. Those are pretty reasonable corpses, honestly. We could make good simulacra out of them if we wanted to. Phantasmal Warriors up here, so let's go that way, I guess. Dispel Undead is, I think, fairly loud. It's a bit loud. Oops, skipped a turn. And the spell hunger on it is quite low, which is nice. Our spell casting is getting kind of high. I think it's maybe a little too high. I was trying to make room for Haunt, but as I discussed, like, that's not really a thing I should be worried about. Haunt is not actually... I saw I was going to be able to cast it, and I was like, I gotta have it. But thinking about it, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not really sure that it's the best thing for us yet. A mistake that some Kiku players make is rushing for the stuff in the Necronomicon. Especially like Necromutation, Death's Door, like, those are very high-level spells, and if you want to get them online in a 3-rune game, like, you can, but if you'd put that experience into something a little bit more directly useful, you know, better conjurations or whatever. Speaking of, here's some bad conjurations. Then it would just be more productive. We should be immune to flaying, right? Because we're, like, bloodless. So that's nice. And I may have made the same mistake there with Haunt just now. Like, it's not... It is a good spell. And if I were going to... Or anyway, it's powerful. You know, whether it's good sort of depends on how much experience you have to put into it, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I'm already working on Necromancy. If I were just going to try to win this character, I think it would be reasonable to learn Haunt. But when I stopped to think about where I'm going next and how Haunt is going to interact with the stuff in Tomb, I realized it's not really that great a spell. Let's turn off spell casting and just get back to work on fighting and dodging. Our AC is quite low still, low-ish. I mean, it's not like 5. We're not like a Feelid or something, but can I control any of this? Yeah, we got 2 things, including the one I dispelled, which kind of stinks, but I just didn't. Wow, and some other guys didn't even wake up. I'm kind of surprised given how noisy Dispel Undead is. Could you guys, like... I don't want to shout because noise carries quite a bit in Crypt. But it's, I mean, whatever. My allies are going to get killed in a sec anyway. I just like to kill the Vampire Mage. Hello? Kill the... I'm amazed that the Satyr Zombie is doing as well as it is against a Vampire Mage. There's a Reaper. Why is there a Reaper? Okay. This is fine. I'm gonna dispel the Vampire Mage first before he summons a bunch more undead. And then use rods on this Reaper. Yikes. Really? Okay, so this is getting to be a bit of a situation. What does the Reaper resist? Alright, I think we can just teleport here. Most of the stuff in Crypt is no concern, and if we were slightly better positioned, I would be okay with this Reaper. So more or less wherever we land will be okay. Can I, like, control this Shadow Dragon zombie? Yeah, that's great. Please, get in there. Okay. Let's drink up that blood. Yummy, yummy. And see if I can avoid being noticed while I rest. But it looks like no. I don't know, maybe he's just gonna walk past me. No. I was trying to get into the corner and, like, see if he was not gonna notice me at all, but I can just walk past him, and that didn't happen, so then I killed him. Interesting that my piety has dipped down. Kiku doesn't mind you killing undead stuff, but she doesn't particularly appreciate it. You don't gain piety for it, but you don't lose any either. Man, I'm getting the worst bolts. Negative energy, poison, and poison. Well, alright, let's get out some dang lightning. See how he likes that, huh? Reapers hit pretty hard. So they're one of the big threats in Tomb, I think. Or in Crypt for a bloodless vampire. Which at the moment, of course, we're not. But we'll be getting there before too long, I think. Let's go back to the Rod of Destruction. It's a little bit more versatile. The other big threats are, you know, if we happen to see, like a Mummy Priest, honestly, is not as big a deal as it would be for a living character. They mostly just are a source of smiting and summoning undead, neither of which is a huge problem. Smiting is like, it's the same smite that Orc Priests use. It's not a big deal for a character with this much HP, as long as it's not, you know, in the middle of a bunch of other stuff. The way they get you in Tomb is by combining Torment, which cuts your HP in half, with Smite, which does, like, damage that a small amount of damage that ignores your armor. So, if we're immune to Torment, and I hope to be for most of our time in Tomb, then it's not really a problem to fight Mummy Priests. Curse Skull, that's the other thing I was thinking of. It's kind of like a... What is it like? I mean, it's a Mummy Priest, but without smiting, basically, and fast. It knows Torment and Summon Undead, and I think that's it. How fast is it? It's fast. Oh, it knows Abjuration because it has Summon Undead. That's interesting. They added that as an actual monster spell. It used to be, until quite recently, I didn't even know it had changed, that just any monster that had a summoning spell could use that spell to abjure as well, and that was just sort of implicit. But it looks like they added... So, like, if I go look up... Let's look up a Deep Elf Demonologist, right? They have Abjuration now. They didn't used to have that listed as a spell. So that's cool. Anyway. Are any of these undeads summoned? Yeah. What did I do on my last turn? I must have used a lightning rod, right? So I could do that again to kill the flayed ghost. My only problem is that I'm not bloodless right now. So the Cursed Skull could cause me some issues. So I think I'm just going to fly away. And he's fast. Most characters can't just run away from him like this. And, like, I don't know, the Jiangxis will probably catch us. But we're away from the Cursed Skull. And now I can just dispel the Jiangxi and take off again. I don't want to fight him. Yeah. So Kiku partially shielded us from Torment, which, like, I think cuts the damage it does in half. So we took only about a quarter of our life. Or really even less, because we have 3 pips of negative energy resistance. So with Kiku and being a low on blood vampire, a Cursed Skull isn't a huge deal. But all right, I'm bloodless. Let's drink that. I would still much rather be entirely bloodless to fight him, just in case. So I'm just gonna rest this all off. Although it seems like it takes a fair while to rest off bloodlessness. I wonder, do I have any spells I can cast that cost a lot of hunger? What happens if I... Yeah, it won't let me cast that. Alright, whatever. Okay. Fine. Well, we'll just keep resting. This is not the way to get a turn high score, but we're bloodless now. And, you know, we might not even find that Cursed Skull again. But like, then again, we might. And, you know, bloodless is just a good way to be down here. It's one of the reasons that I don't usually come into Crypt on a 3-rune game, is just that Cursed Skulls can be a huge problem. And they're just so different from everything else you have to fight in a 3-rune game that even a quite strong character can be not really equipped to deal with Cursed Skulls. Sometimes, of course, you're perfectly equipped, but not always. Deep Elf Death Mage, huh? Seems like the Lightning Rod ought to be alright for that. But I don't want to approach him, like, out in the open either. And if I use the Lightning Rod, of course, you know, everything in the Crypt will come down on me. This place is, you know, quiet as a crypt. Sound actually does carry more in Tomb. There's a lost soul. Gosh, I wish they would show up on the... Oh, no, do not target yourself. On the monster list. They used to, and then there was, like, some bug, and I tried to fix it, but it didn't... My patch to add them to the monster list, like, it works, but it changed how some stuff appeared on the monster list sometimes. I don't know. It seems to me like what I did is an improvement, and you know, it wasn't perfect, but nobody can really agree on what perfect is, and so it didn't ever really get in. Now it would probably be a big hassle to merge it, so I don't know. Someday, somebody who has the ability to actually commit is gonna get tired of the fact that monsters that can't attack, like Lost Souls, Lurking Horrors, used to be Giant Spores, but they don't exist anymore. Maybe there's some others. They just don't appear on the monster list. Alright, there's a Death Mage. Let's try to get him by himself. Someone will get tired of the fact that those don't exist, and they'll fix it, and maybe they'll get it perfect, or maybe they'll just get it good enough, and it'll get committed. I would like that. Okay, so do we have a plan here other than just zapping him with rods? I think no, and that's fine. Yeah, he's not in great shape here. And let's switch to the other lightning rod in case somebody heard us. Fine, I don't care about skeletal warriors. They are just no problem at all. We just dispel them. Hello? Oh, I guess I forgot to hit enter. That wasn't lag that time. You know, that'll happen, I guess. There are a lot of skeletal warriors. Eventually, I'm going to run out of MP, you guys. You know, so I didn't think about the fact that we'll be losing Kiku Piety while we're down here. Which is, like, okay, I guess. We don't need to request corpses very often. And, you know, we'll just do it every so often to get sustain attributes. That's nice to have, actually, for Tomb. Let's do it every so often when we... Mostly in Tomb, it'll be like to make sure we have blood, basically. Yeah, the Slayed Ghost is of no concern to me. And we only need to have 1 pip of Kiku Piety to get corpses. So I don't think that's going to be a problem, especially with an Amulet of Faith. Actually, I don't know if that has any impact on how fast you lose Piety. It'll make you gain Piety faster. But I don't know. I don't think it matters. Once we're done with Tomb, we can head to Depths. So, and in Depths we can easily build our Piety back, is the plan. Can I... It's getting a bit slow in here. Alright, now we've got the Death Mage's attention. He took agility, which, alright, whatever, I guess. Got him. And now, like, just the various undeads who overheard the commotion. Ooh, maybe we can eat this Death Mage. I didn't think about that. Nope. These dragon zombies, they have a lot of hit points. So do ghouls, I guess. I guess that's why they're yellow. Like, they hit fairly hard and they have a lot of hit points. And they don't really seem like a big threat, but I guess they kind of are. Hey, knock it off, Revenant. They just sort of seem to me like basically just necrophages again. Yeah, there we go. And that's Crypt 2. What do you think? Do we make that a video? I think that's fine. I don't want to try to cram all of Crypt 3, which will take longer, into the same video. So finally, a reasonable length video doing floors, you know, not as fast as I would like, but at a reasonable pace. Crypt is kind of the lull in difficulty here between Vaults and Tomb. Tomb I expect to be pretty slow going and also pretty hair-raising. Crypt 3, I'm not sure. It should be tougher than this, but with a lot of Dispel Undead, it ought to be alright. But I guess you'll have to find out in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.